Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the West Coast Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Frias Guzman. And on today's episode, I am just going to be focusing mainly on the Los Angeles Lakers. I will be giving you guys maybe just a quick little update on the Dodgers, as there has been much news going on with them. It's pretty much just the players getting ready, getting reacclimated, getting associated with everybody, meeting up with each other, training, working out together. I believe pitchers and catchers have already reported to training camp, so next would be the position players and so on and so forth. The Raiders really haven't had a whole lot of news coming up or anything like that either. It's mainly NFL news, as we all know that the Super Bowl is finally set. We have the Eagles going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I have some things to go and talk about those games when it comes down to it, and just overall with the officiating with the NFL. Maybe some of you guys might have seen it, of course, and I don't know if you guys have the same kind of opinion as I do when it comes down to that, Cincinnati and Kansas City game. But we'll talk a little bit about the Raiders there, but we'll finish up mainly about the Lakers, as they had that really horrible officiating game by against the Celtics there. If you guys caught that game, I wanted to go and record a podcast pretty much right after that game. It was very I didn't even know what kind of adjectives they're going to put with this, whether if I was angry, upset, pissed off, whatever you want to say. I mean, I was questioning all kinds of things. I really didn't know what to go and do, but I know I didn't want to record a podcast at that time because I knew it was going to be really negative and just so on and so forth, and I really just didn't want to do that on one whole podcast. I really wanted to take my time to go ahead and really think about it through. But honestly, not much of my opinions have really changed from the day of the game or the night of the game until now. But I will be talking all about that. It is just to go ahead and give you guys a heads up. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It is Monday, January 30th, 2023. The month is almost over. Can't believe it's came up this damn quick. This whole month flew by, but definitely love to go ahead and talk to you guys about this podcast. Hope you guys had a great weekend again. Again, this is episode number 127, so let's get right into it. So with that being said, guys, just before I do want to let you guys know that you can find me on Instagram and Twitter really quick. It's same handle, West Coast Pod 702. Again, that's West Coast Pod 702. And I'll be talking a little bit later on about another Instagram page that you can definitely follow. So with that being said, guys, the Raiders haven't had a whole lot of information or a lot of stuff going on when it comes down to it. Neither really have the Dodgers. The Dodgers are really just trying to report now. They have pitchers and catchers that have already reported to training camp. You have some of the position players who are coming in now as well. It's really just now a matter of who's going to be playing. It seems like there's a couple positions now that we might have a little bit more like an idea of who's going to be playing there. Looks like in the center field, it should be Trace Thompson. Now, I know a lot of people have kind of seen him play and have already seen him maybe develop a little bit with the Dodgers, and it seems like whatever he's done last season, he ended up overcoming or ended up winning that starting spot. Maybe he'll be able to hang on to it. I know a lot of people have been looking into James Outman possibly being another young guy who can be out there, who can probably replace Thompson. So I'll have to go and see what happens. I think really the only two solidified positions out there might be Chris Taylor and Mookie Betts. Out of that, I mean, maybe you don't have a whole lot. I think they're gonna probably put JD Martinez, unless if they're putting JD out in the outfield, then they're gonna give somebody else the designated hitter position. So we'll have to go and see what happens with all that. But overall, I think it is just gonna be just a way for us to go in and have a closer eye on who's playing, on who's who's coming up, who's showing out a little bit more in training camp. So just have to keep a close eye on that. If I hear any kind of reports or anything like that, I'll definitely let you guys know. I would say the only other thing to mention when it comes down to the Dodgers is the Major League, or I don't even know who came out with the report, but there was a report that came out talking about the top shortstops in the league. And I was a little surprised that Galvin Lux was at the very top of that list. I think you had guys like Trey Turner, even Corey Seager, all former Dodgers. They were right there, like in the top 5, I want to say. He even had guys like Xander Bogaerts in there, who the Dodgers were, even looking into at some point as well. So to me, it seemed really weird that we were looking for a new shortstop, but Galvin Lux is apparently the top shortstop in the league. It would trip me out, but we'll have to see. Maybe that is true. Maybe he is gonna have a year that he's gonna be able to show out and prove that he's actually one of those top shortstops in the league, if not the top shortstop in the league. So definitely something to keep an eye on when it comes down to that. Definitely excited to want to see what kind of a season Galvin can have. Maybe not that he's going to have a full-time position at a particular position and have some starter, playing time. So we'll have to go and see when it comes down to all that. The other things that I wanted to go and bring up here when outside of the Dodgers is the Raiders. There hasn't been a whole lot of news when it comes down specifically to the Raiders. It just seems like there's more traction now when it comes down to them possibly getting Aaron Rodgers. So we'll have to go and see when it comes down to all that. There's been talks about Tom Brady maybe looking into other teams. And in my case now, it's been like 3 weeks now, ever since 4 weeks. I don't even know how long it's been now since Derek Carr got benched and all this talks ended up happening. I'm getting a little sick and tired of it. I don't want to go ahead and continue to go ahead and talk about the same thing over and over and over again. So it is just going to be a thing. Raiders have talked about that they're going to make it a priority to go ahead and re-sign Josh Jacobs. I think that's absolutely the number one thing you have to go and do. Maybe you're not expecting him to go and lead the league in rushing again or anything like that. Maybe you have more of a running back cut by committee next season. You have Zamir White, you have Brandon Bolden, I think his name is, who can definitely go ahead and provide a little bit more run support there. So if you have other guys that can go ahead and give you that run support, then definitely why not do that? Maybe Josh Jacobs can still average or can still get a little over 1,000 yards each season, and that's definitely fine. Nobody would ever go and complain about Josh Jacobs getting over 1,000 yards any season. Now, the whole thing comes up of how much he's going to get paid. That's going to be up to the front office. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be paid like one of the top running backs in the league. Maybe you're not going to get that exact same performance from him every single season, but I would think that it would be important for them to go ahead and re-sign him because he is going to be one of the top running backs in the league, at least for the next few seasons, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens when it comes down to all that. You definitely see that he has even like a work ethic in order to go and improve the things that he's not all that great in. So we'll have to go and see again. In my opinion, if they don't re-sign Josh Jacobs, who else are you going to? You need to get other running backs in there that are going to help you out. And especially when you have that great, you need to have a good running back, a running team, or running game. If you want to go ahead and get the passing game going, if you want to go ahead and develop a quarterback, if you don't want that quarterback to be slinging the ball around every single game and possibly throwing up some interceptions, then I think you definitely need to have a strong running game. So lastly, just NFL news. We all know that the Super Bowl is all set. The Eagles ended up beating the 49ers. That was, in my opinion, a really great game. I love the fact that the Eagles ended up beating the 49ers. 49er fans have been talking a lot of crap and everything. I think maybe the only couple of 49er fans that I feel for are my cousin-in-law and my brother Billy. I definitely feel for you, bro. But other 49er fans maybe out there, I don't know, there's been a lot of them talking a lot of crap and everything and all this and that. And I know that's not every single 49er fan, but it is what it is. Maybe next season. I definitely thought it was going to be difficult for a rookie quarterback to come into the middle of the season and go 6-0 while they're 11-0 and still continue all the way to the Super Bowl. I thought it was going to be far-fetched, but hey, you got to go and believe in dreams. You got to believe in stuff that might turn into miracles because it's sports. How can you not be poetic about sports, But it is what it is when it comes down to that. The other game, Cincinnati versus Kansas City, and damn, I don't know. Maybe it was the officiating, maybe it was something else. A good game overall. I mean, they made a game out of it. I just thought it was kind of ridiculous. All the bonehead plays, all the bonehead calls or no calls that the refs had. That intentional grounding one, that was ridiculous. That whole redoing third down, that was ridiculous. I never heard of a redo on third down. I'm like, wow. But regardless of the fact, it is what it is. The Chiefs ended up winning. I am full on thinking that the Eagles are gonna win. I really hope that they win. I don't want the Chiefs to win. Me, of course, being a Raider fan, I don't want to see the Chiefs win another Super Bowl or anything like that. I would definitely prefer to go and see the Eagles win. I was telling my dad yesterday, I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. I like a lot of the players on the Eagles overall. There was a lot of connections that the Raiders had with the Eagles because we were both looking into Jalen Hurts. We both were looking into Ndamukong Suh, even James Bradbury. So you have all these different connections when it comes down to the Eagles, and it gets you thinking, if we would have maybe signed some of those players, if we would have maybe gone the direction that they did, would things be different for us this season, or maybe the next couple seasons moving forward? Who knows? But it is what it is when it comes down to it. It is. You have to go ahead and just tip your hat off to both teams for making it to the Super Bowl, and hope the best for the Eagles, of course. But it is what it is when it comes down to that. Hopefully, there's always next season. It's just going to be a matter of just keeping an eye on what happens with the Raiders and what we can do to move forward to actually be one of those teams in the hunt for the Super Bowl berth. So with that being said, look, guys, I do want to just switch things. You kind of heard me talking a little bit about officiating being really bad in last night's game for the Chiefs and the Bengals. That's the same thing that I'm going to be talking about here for the Lakers, unfortunately. I know maybe not to going to beat a dead horse or anything like that, but I wanted to take some time to cool off a little bit from that game, maybe kind of collect my thoughts, and honestly, I still feel the same way, especially after all the reports that have kind of came out. There's that last 2 minutes report, there's the NBA that came out with it, talking about that they ended up missing that call, the officials and everything and this and that. But before we get into all that, I do want to take a quick minute to remind everybody that you can also find another page. It's my wife's page, Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Again, that's Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Definitely go ahead and check it out. If you have any kind of events, parties, birthdays, whatever, anniversary, Valentine's Day, whatever it's going on, definitely go and check it out because you won't be disappointed. Any kind of designs or lettering, pictures, whatever the case is, she can put it on a chip bag, customized chip bag, where she keeps the original packaging of the chips, like little individual snack sizes, and she'll be able to go ahead and customize it however you like. Definitely go ahead and check out the page to go ahead and get a better idea of them. Guarantee you won't be disappointed. Plus, she even has a giveaway going on right now, where I believe you can get like 10 or 15, I believe like 10 free chip bags. So you're definitely going to get something for free. I believe they're at a $4 value, so you're saving yourself $40 right off the bat from there. And if you want to add any more, I'm pretty sure she can even help you out with that. So with that case, definitely go and check it out. Again, it's Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Guarantee you won't be disappointed. Drop a follow, let her know that you heard about it on my podcast, and you'll probably even get something a little extra as well. So thank you again, guys. I definitely just want to go ahead and just mention that. But with that being said, I do want to just move on over to the Lakers, as I've been talking about the officiating job that happened that night. I don't know what the hell, especially after all the reports and everything that's came out, them talking about that. Yes, they should have called the foul and everything and all there. I wouldn't know what to do anymore if I was the Lakers. I wouldn't. This is now easily 3 games, if not 4, where there's been horrible missed calls, or just no calls, or there's just no calls. Because the Russell Westbrook one, he ended up literally holding onto his wrist. Embiid was holding onto his wrist, and no call came up. This one, LeBron literally gets hacked across the arm, the shooting arm, the one that he's going up to make a layup with, and no call happens. You also have even the Troy Brown one, that even where he went up for a 3-pointer, gets smacked across the arm and nothing. Maybe high fives him, whatever the case is, but still, it was a foul. You also have even, I believe, there was the Dennis Schroeder one, or the one against the Kings. It might have been Dennis. Was it Dennis? I can't remember if it was Dennis or not, but you have that one as well. That one's probably the only one that's a little bit questionable. But whatever the case is, you at least have 2, 3 for sure that should have been calls, should have changed the outcome of the game. And if you think about it, those 3 games would have made a huge difference for the Lakers, especially knowing how badly we ended up starting off the season, especially knowing all that. But it is what it is now at this point. I don't know really what to go ahead and even say. Like, it's one of those things that you're just really disappointed, disgusted even with the league. You want some sort of a change to go and happen, something to get better, because this just unacceptable. It's not right. You're literally costing a team multiple games. And I know maybe you can say all kinds of things. Oh, you should have done this, should have done that, should have done this. And that would have changed the outcome of the game too. And I know you can do that all you want, but those are things all under the control of the players. But this is not. This is up to the officials to go in and get it right. And if they don't get it right the first time, maybe take a minute to go and look it over. Maybe there are some times where you don't have to go ahead and make a call right at that moment. Maybe you blow the whistle, tell them we're gonna look at it over a couple times just to make sure that if there is a call, that we make the call. Especially when it's a game deciding kind of a play or moment, right? But that's just my opinion. Again, I feel like there's a lot of people, especially Laker fans, that feel the same way. Maybe even like some that are not Laker fans that are gonna feel this way, because if you have a team who's just getting cheated out of these games, I don't think it's necessarily right. Especially with this one being on ABC, nationally televised game, all kinds of people with their eyes on it. Definitely, I think it was a big deal. But it is what it is. The Lakers do have the Nets tonight again, Brooklyn. We'll have to go and see what happens with all this. It is going to be an interesting game. I think even ESPN in Vegas has like the odds totally against the Lakers. I think we have like a 20% chance to win according to them. So it's really crazy to go and think about all that. Especially now that we have Anthony Davis back and all that. I'm pretty sure that we can compete with anybody, especially if you see that the other night against the Celtics. I know the Celtics are maybe missing Marcus Smart, and maybe they didn't have that great of a game or whatever the case is, but maybe that was just the Lakers playing good defense on them. I could totally agree with Pat Bev on something, against that game where they went up against the Trailblazers, and Pat Bev did a good job on Damian Lillard. I can see why he would snap back in a way, when a certain player has a bad game, player defending them gets the props by saying, oh, maybe they had an off game. That's not necessarily giving them props. That's like saying like, oh, they had a bad game, so you had a pretty easy defending him, right? It's like, no, why did she say that he just locked them up? He did a good job defending him, rather than the other way around. But so now I can totally understand it when it comes down to that. So it is what it is when it comes down to it. We'll have to go and see what the Lakers are able to go and do against the Nets tonight. I really think it's going to be an interesting game, a way for the Lakers to go and be able to show again that they're not just messing around, that they mean business here moving forward, that they're actually trying to become a team that's going to compete with others in the league, that we're going to be able to compete with others in the West, and as well make a deep playoff run. Again, I don't think that the Lakers are done making any kind of deals. I think there's still 9 days left in the trade till the trade deadline, so we'll see exactly what happens with all that. I am just excited to see tonight's game. I am just gonna have to rush home as soon as I get off of work, because it does start at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. So hopefully you guys watch it as well. We'll talk all about that game most likely on Wednesday. But until then, guys, hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys have a great Monday to start off the week. Until then, hope you guys make sure you tell your loved ones you love them. Take care of everybody you love and everything as well. Until next time, guys, take care. Peace.